For more, we can head over to London now and bring in our correspondent, Benedicte Paviot. Benedicte, thanks for being with us. Which extradition request do you think, take precedence here, the Swedish one or the American?
There's absolutely no clarity for the moment whether Julian Assange will be extradited to the United States or to Sweden. I mean, this is just a new stage in this protracted battle of Julian Assange from being extradited. Well, originally it was to Sweden, and we know how that ended. He went through the whole British legal process, because although there is a European arrest warrant, an EAW, which is a fast-tracked system between the 28 European Union member states, if the person that is wanted for extradition fights against it, then it's a much more protracted process. And we saw that 18-month indeed covered for France 24, that whole protracted process. So we could go through that again. And as you say, which country will it be? Well, the decision will be made by the British government, the Home Secretary, I understand. It will be in fact, in that minister's hands to decide that. Of course, I'm sure it will be in consultation with the Prime Minister, Theresa May. But initially, it changes nothing for Julian Assange. He was, as you know, in breach of his bail conditions. So when he ceased getting political asylum from the Ecuadorians, since he had taken refuge for the last 7 years in their embassy in central London, it became possible, to take him before the courts for his breaching of those allegations. 52 weeks he was condemned to, and he'll be there for 6 months before he's eligible for parole. So we will see, because there is that US extradition warrant against him for unlawfully releasing highly classified military intelligence material of the United States.
Now, Benedicte, you've personally reported on this for almost a decade now. Surely one thing that we know for certain is that this is going to be somewhat of a long process.
Indeed. I think it's interesting that it is, we're told by the deputy prosecutor in Sweden at the request of the alleged victim, and therefore has been asked for by her lawyer. Of course, I should specify that Julian Assange has always categorically denied that the sex was not consensual, and he says that it was also consensual not to use a condom. Of course, this is something, it's a serious, rape allegation is serious. And of course, the Swedes say that they stopped pursuing this because, A, there was a time question, and also because they simply couldn't get Julian Assange. It wasn't for lack of proof. What will be interesting, of course, is to see which extradition request takes precedence. But there's another twist. In fact, I understand that the Swedes could ask to interview Julian Assange via video link from the prison, Belmarsh prison in central London, well, in London, where he is held. But they could then follow it up by a formal request for extradition where he would be physically extradited. They may not do that second part of physical extradition. So could it be that the Swedes interview him via video link? Then it doesn't amount to anything to formally charge him. And then, therefore, it would just leave that US extradition request. Either way, what we indeed know, as your question suggests, is that this will be a protracted process, I'm told, at the minimum, another 18-month legal battle, as his lawyers will fight it every step of the way, either extradition request.